Good morning, friends. My name is Amy and we are here on Three Barrow Farm. This morning, in the early hours of the morning, I'm standing in front of one of our very laden apple trees. But today we're going to harvest some beetroot and carrots because they are ready. The carrots will be used in meals throughout the next few weeks, but with the beetroot, I want to make pickled beetroot because that is very popular in our household. I have been making some beetroot hummus as well, and I've been freezing that in small batches, but today I hope to get a lot of pickled beetroot done so that I can get all these beetroots put up for the off season. So let's go and harvest. Firstly, I need to finish my cup of tea before it goes cold. I'm also listening to a food podcast. I love listening to food, gardening, or crafting podcasts while I'm in the garden. I feel like they spur me on when I don't feel like doing some of the mundane tasks like weeding. I get some great ideas from them too, and it feels as though I'm listening to a friend while I work. My dogs are always keen to help me in the garden. They are lovely company when I'm the only one in the family who's awake at such an early time of morning. I'm picking through this patch of beetroot, only taking the largest bulbs. The others can stay in the ground a little longer to get bigger. I plant the seeds quite close together and find all I need to do is twist the big ones out, and then the small ones have room to grow. Most of these ones are the cylindra beetroot. Next are the carrots, which are growing next to this patch of beetroot. They are the purple dragon variety. Purple on the outside and orange to yellow on the inside. I harvested from another patch as well, mostly purple dragon, although some were the round Paris market varieties as well. Back to the beetroot, and this section has been needing to come out for a few weeks. I scattered the last of the seeds I had from some other heirloom beetroot varieties. Now it's time to come into the kitchen. First, I weigh the produce. I'm weighing almost everything this year, and it's exciting to see how much I've grown this season. The total for beetroot on this day was 8.6 kilograms, and for carrots was 3.4 kilograms. I wash the beetroot, then chop their tops and bottoms off and pop them in the large pot. I fill the pot with water and put it on the wood fire oven to come to a boil. One of my most favourite preserving books is Sally Wise's A Year in a Bottle. I've made the pickling beetroot and the apple chutney in this book so many times that the book stays open well on these 2 pages. There are so many other recipes that I have used in this book and another of Sally Wise's that I have. I highly recommend any of her books. I make up the vinegar sugar mixture hoping I'll have enough for the amount of beetroot I'm planning to preserve. I'm not pickling the entire 8.6 kilograms, but I'm doing more than the recipe asks for, so I'm adding a little more of everything. We don't need our pickled beetroot to be very sweet, so we use the minimum amount of sugar needed. What makes this recipe so yummy is the spices. I pop the vinegar mixture on the stove and let it simmer until a little after the sugar has dissolved, allowing the spices to emit their beautiful taste throughout the vinegar. While I wait for the beetroot to cook and the spices to do their thing, I start taking the tops off the carrots. I do this by twisting them as I did with the beetroot. I have never preserved carrots before. I have another lot in the garden, so I might blanch and freeze them. But we go through carrots so quickly that I'm sure these carrots will be fine in the fridge for a few weeks. The beetroots are now cooked, so it's time to peel them. The skins glide off without much trouble. I find some of the varieties like to hold onto their skin more, and they also don't need as long a cooking time as the other beetroots. The skins on the cylindra beetroot slip right off. This variety is perfect for preserving. I boil up the lids to sterilise them, and then it's time to start slicing the beetroot. When I'm using the mandolin, I ask for everyone in the family to not interrupt me or distract me. I don't want to slip up while using such a sharp instrument. Filling the jars is one of my favourite parts. I love seeing the different colours of the heirloom beetroots fill the tall Fowlers jars. Then I pour the vinegar mixture over them and release the air bubbles from each jar. When all the jars are full, I wipe the mouth of the jar so the seal will work properly. I place the rubber rings around each jar, carefully making sure they aren't twisted. Then I place the lids and clips on top. I placed them all into the water bathing unit and then filled the unit with water over the top of the jars. This is the process for the type of water bathing unit I have acquired secondhand. The water bathing takes an hour, and then I take the bottles out to rest for 24 hours. Then I take the clips off and test that the lids have sealed properly. This batch has worked out perfectly. I'm so glad to have more to put in our food store. I popped the new jars at the back of my jars from last year's pickling. We did so many jars last year that we still have 8 jars left over. And that's the end of our pickling session. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I love hearing from you. Let me know your favourite things to do with beetroot. See you next time, friends.